I'm starting my new job tomorrow, and so for that I had to travel to Miami. They put us up at this like hotel. I thought that it was like a random hotel in the middle of nowhere because I googled it and it kind of looked a little like desolate or whatever, and then I got here. It's so fancy. Like I was in shock. I was in awe. Like I have never been wined and dined like this. I ordered an Uber to go to the art installation, and I was like walking to it, and then like the man next to me suddenly like jumped up and he was like, "Ma'am, no, don't go." And I was like so scared. I was like, is something wrong? Like what's happening? And then he runs in front of me and then opens the door and he's like, "Yes, ma'am, like now you can go." And I was like, I didn't know they had gentlemen on payroll here. That was crazy. Okay, long story short, I ordered $60 for the Cuban food. But vegetarian Cuban food, vegan Cuban food, because I was given the opportunity to do so, and now I'm gonna review it all. Yes. Okay, let's see what we got here. A ham croqueta, vegan version. Yes, I've never had vegan ham. I've had like other types of meats, but I've never had this one, so I'm a little excited, but also a little scared.
2 hours later.
Very chewy. I need a ham eater to come in here and tell me if that tastes like the real ham. To me, it kind of tastes like tomato water, a little bit.
Tomato.
Ham eaters confirm in the comments. Is that what ham tastes like? But I don't hate it. I like it. Yeah, I think. Okay, the next thing we have is a papa rellena. I don't even know what that is. It just they included it for free. So I said, why not? It's an all vegan restaurant. Let's see. This is it. Oh, now this is what they're talking about. Yeah. So there's like mashed potatoes in this ball. Ham. Okay, now this is our main course. So here we got, I did like all this like research scrolling on TikTok yesterday about like things to do in Miami and like food in Miami, and then everything was like, oh, you have to try like this sandwich shop called Sandwich, but it was all for meat eaters. And excuse me. So I was really sad watching those videos because all that food looked really good, but I cannot unfortunately stray. Ooh, look at this like crispy stuff. I love the texture and the ASMR. Mukbang time. Oh.
Let him
Abuelita's flan. Now, let's see what Abuelita cooked up. Ooh. Abuelita did not give me any spoons or forks though. Whew. Abuelita, what am I to do? How do I eat this? Okay, I did not find anything, but I have the straw from the matcha that I ordered for tomorrow morning because I have to be up at like 5:30 a.m. So you know what they say. You know what Joe says, reduce, reuse, recycle. So that's what we're gonna do with this straw. Reuse. Okay, this is really not working. I just made like a cigarette burn in this flan. And I sucked it out. Okay, Abuelita, that was good though. I really like it. I just wish I could eat it. And that's really good. Thank you, Abuelita. And last, I'm not supposed to try this right now because I'm supposed to wake up. But I'm just too excited. And so I'm gonna give you guys the review of this matcha right now. You know me, I'm a matcha girl. I did not expect Miami to have any matcha at all, because it's all probably gonna be like Cuban coffee, right? Okay, TBH, very milky. This was like $8. Not very sweet either. So I would say not worth it. Good thing I'm not paying.
You promised my son that you're going to give him free Robux.
Okay, well. Thank you guys for joining me on this mukbang. I will see you guys tomorrow when I order on yet another feast.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context of all in which you live and what came before you.
Ever been put on the
A drag queen?
I'm almost done with yet another diary, and I just want to say this is what happens when I was supposed to be sent to the sanatorium, but they sent me to school instead.
Please welcome the wickedly talented one and only Adele Dazeem.
What would you do if, when you're okay, so he said yes would go? I don't know what you mean there, babes.
I had to run to the bus stop today because the bus was about to leave, but then the bus driver told me that I was at the wrong stop, and then he kept driving, so then I had to run to the other stop, and then he stopped in the middle of the road, so then I was just waiting for him, and I had all this adrenaline, so then I was just pacing back and forth with my backpack and my hat on like this, and there was a man standing there, and he asked me if I had run away from home. I know I look young, but come on.
I want a bleach and tone. Like, can you do a bleach and tone for me, please? Like, smiley face emoji. And she was like, tone? A question mark. And I was like, a bleach and tone. Like, a bleach and tone. Like, a bleach and tone. Like,
Clap if you've ever been to a fat farm.
My heart is beating so fast, and I don't know if it's because of the giant cup of Cuban coffee I had or the fact that I just ran an entire mile. My heart is literally running a marathon right now, and I feel like the sun right now. Like a burning ball of gas. Burning because I'm burning up because Florida is so freaking hot. And the gas part because I've been constipated for the last week. Today I went to get coffee from this cute little Cuban bakery that my friend told me to go to. And so I pulled up, or the lady who is giving out the pastries and everything, this lady says to me, "Puedo ayudarle?" Which means, can I help you, right? And ooh, like this was the invitation I was looking for, right? To practice my Spanish 5. I started like a conversation. I was pulling out the Dora, Pobre Ana material I had gathered till now, right? It was all making its way to the front of my brain, and I was having a nice conversation with her, and like not once did she assume that like I didn't speak Spanish. And I got my food, and I was like sitting and eating, and I was so happy. I was like, ooh, like I felt like I got away with it, like low key, you know? And then I went back to order a guava and cheese pastry because like they love that here. I think this is like a Cuban pastry, and it's so good. And like the Cubans love their guava. They make so much stuff with it. I had a guava cheesecake. One of the best things I have ever eaten. It changed my DNA because it was that good. BC, before cheesecake, that's the time period I was living in. And now we're in the AD, after digestion. Except we haven't hit the AD yet because I'm still constipated. For this part of the conversation, I was not so prepared. And she started asking me questions that were off book. And I was like a little bit caught off guard. And I just like kind of stared at her for a minute. And then like she said something to all the people in the back of the bakery, and then they all started laughing at me. And then I felt so bad. And then after that, like she was just like, here's your change, $1.61, yeah. And like they just started like enunciating their words more, speaking like slower, and I was like, no. Like, I don't know. I felt like I lost. I don't know. I also feel like I disappointed them, weirdly. I don't know why. It all started in my childhood, actually, when I started learning my mother tongue, Telugu, and I was speaking it to my cousins and my aunts and uncles and like my entire extended family, and some of them would make fun of me for my accent and some of the word choices where I would be too formal, like translated. Like one time my uncle going out of the house and I was like, "Oh, uncle, where are you going?" And then he was like, "Oh, I'm literally going to die." And like, you know, kids these days kind of exaggeratedly go like, "Oh, kill myself," like literally kill myself. Like culturally there, it's also kind of like an acceptable answer. So he was just being a little angsty that day, and he said, "Oh, I'm literally going to die." And I took it so seriously. Like, I started telling everyone in the house, and like, I was on suicide patrol. I was like, "Guys," and I like called like a meeting. I was like, "Guys, what are we gonna do about this? Guys." And then, like, I was talking to his wife, my aunt, and I was like, "Do you not care? Like, what?" Like, the man literally said he's going to die, and we're just gonna stand here and do nothing? And I was like pacing back and forth the entire day in front of the door, and like they were all just like giggling, kikiing at me and like walking by, and finally he came back and I like ran to him and I gave him a hug and I was like, "Oh my god, like you made it." And he completely forgot that he told me that in the first place. So he was like, "Yeah, I mean, you know, like I just took the bus, but I'm here, like finally someone's happy to see me." And then, like, everyone told him how worried I had been about him. I have not ordered any more feasts because the food here is so expensive. So, like, I order 2 things and it ends up being, like, all the money that I've been given for the day. So, it's not even a feast. Yeah. Rip. There is so much humidity in the air that I'm literally swimming from like bus stop to bus stop.
The city that keeps the roof blazing.